You know that moment when you have, what? You know that moment when you're supposed to have an alarm clock go off, but you keep on waking up in anticipation of the alarm clock because you hate how much the alarm clock sounds? This is what's happening. Oh my God, this is crazy. My name is Abby. I am a postgrad student here at the University of Glasgow, and I will be taking you guys on an adventure for the next 2 days. We are going to be visiting Oban, Iona, Staffa, and Mull. And this is up in the Highlands of Scotland. Now, a huge reason of why we are going to Oban is mainly for Staffa Island, and it's because it is puffin season. It is high peak puffin season, and my friends and I really want to go and sit and see the puffins and hang out with them, and then maybe I'll kidnap one and bring it back to McCaig and have a little puffin buddy and name him Albert. That's preferably what we'd like to happen. I want to share as much of the journey as I can with this trip, from transportation, accommodation, places to eat, and then also things to explore while in the area that are absolutely worth it and also on a student-friendly budget. One thing I have yet to do is go ahead and actually pack for this tour. I have an hour and a half before I leave, and it takes me about roughly 30 to 45 minutes, maybe 45 minutes is more like it, to even get into the city center, to get to Queen Street. Let's get it rolling. Surprise, surprise, I am an overpacker. I tried to keep it light with my day-to-day school bag since, well, I'm only gonna be there for one night, so I don't need to pack a lot. And then I brought my iPad just in case I needed schoolwork, some athletic pants, a pullover, a sweater, another throw over, and a light layer, and then toiletry. Alright, so I just went and dropped my phone off, and by my phone I mean the LSA duty phone. I did a shift last night, and we even had a movie night. It was super great, but I had to drop it off because my shift ends at 8 a.m. I cannot leave McCaig until 8 a.m. Now I am walking to the subway station. Alright, so if you live at McCaig, you will be walking to the Kelvin Hall subway station. Now, there are a couple of different ways of transportation. I mean, there's about 45 minutes if you're going to go ahead and walk all the way to Queen Street from McCaig. There's also the bus that you can catch about 10 minutes from McCaig. For me, the subway was just the easiest, getting on to Kelvin Hall and then off over by Buchanan and then heading straight to Queen Street right across the way. Once I arrived at Queen Street and I was with my friends and made sure that we were all on time, I went ahead and purchased my tickets through the ScotRail app. Now, you can purchase your ticket through other outlets such as Trainline and Omeo, or you can just simply purchase at the station. Also, there is the student rail card, so keep that in mind for your travels. Alright, so we are finally going ahead and leaving Glasgow. I promise you guys that I do have friends, they just don't want to be cameoed. But maybe I'll get some videos in if they allow me to later. But for now, I will show you what we've got rocking on the table. So right now we have a half-eaten croissant, which is mine. We've got some lively lemon graze oats fiber. What the hell is, oh, flapjacks. Club orange biscuits, some exotic fruit salad, and by that we mean pineapple, kiwi, and watermelon. Not exactly exotic, but okay. We've got some cannolis for the ride. Yes, Kailey is presenting the cannolis. She's got her beautiful book out with her Nessie bookmark, coffee, and a pretty jug. Yay! And then all of our things stacked right there. So now it is time for a wee history sesh with Abby on Oban, Scotland. In Gaelic, Oban actually means little bay. What was once known as a small fisherman's village, it actually got its growth around the late 1700s and early 1800s. Many saw Oban as a gateway to the Isles, and with it being an easy access point, many trades were taken to Glasgow and Ireland for its seafood. Another note of Oban's claim to fame is their Scottish whiskey. Built in 1794, it is actually one of the oldest whiskey distilleries in Scotland and in the top 20 for single malt in the world. That is the end of your history sesh with Abs. Bye! Train ride to Oban was about 3.5 hours. We filled up and had an actual lunch at a local cafe over by the train. After we headed to our hostel. We chose to stay at the Corin guest house and hostel because it had really great reviews. It was also £60 for all three of us for one night stay. So with a I just wanted to see the damn puffins. With a heavy. And then you're like. So with a heavy heart, I regret to inform everyone watching this video that our Staffa trip just got canceled an hour after we left Glasgow. And it went to our junk email. I think Hannah's taking it the hardest. The plus about Scotland is that it's great and beautiful to travel in, but the downside is Scotland, when you get into the Highlands, is that it likes to rain a lot, and because we are going across the sea, they have decided to cancel the tour completely. So yeah. Alright, so we have managed to leave our room and soak our sorrows in more food. We are going to 2 fish and chip shops here in Oban. As one could imagine, Oban takes its fish and chips seriously. So when the famous Rick Stein told both fish and chip shops down the street from each other that they were the best fish that he's ever had, it sparked some major battles between these 2 fish and chip shops, Oban Fish and Chips and Norrie's. But my friends and I decided to put this feud to the rest by trying it out for ourselves. Ooh. Oh. This is Norrie's Fish and Chips in this corner, and over here is Oban's Fish and Chip. It's absolutely huge. It's like by my I gotta start it. There we go. We are ready to try the fish and chip battle.
You're doing a great job.
Yay.
Does it taste like fish?
What kind of question is that?
The only one I got.
I think it tastes pretty good. I think from the Munchies video that we watched, have a heavier batter. It reminds me of something from back home, but I don't know what. Like, she's a critic.
Yeah, she's
a food critic. Yeah. And then now I have to do this one.
That is correct. And
a big part. Here we go. This one's lighter. A lot lighter.
Which is your preference?
Damn. I don't know.
That's not good enough.
It's not an answer. I like this one more. I'm a battery person.
She's a batter girl.
After dinner, we went ahead and decided to walk off all the fish and chip that we just ate because we were unbelievably full. I already know what you guys are thinking. You guys didn't even determine which fish and chip that you like. Bleh. Both shops are absolutely amazing, but we chose Oban Fish and Chip as our favorite. What is this? Oh my gosh, see, it's even brighter. Wow. So last night we assumed that the trip was canceled because of all of the weather that was happening. It's supposed to be super rainy, but we woke up this morning to pure sunshine. After leaving the hostel, we went ahead and stopped over by a cafe. This is Roxy's Cafe. It was extremely cute. It had a little mouse door. I love that kind of stuff. And we had some scones, jam, and clotted cream. And we sorted out our lives for the day. I think this may be the closest we get to puffins. Yeah. We went and visited the information center here at Oban, and it ended up that like every single tour in town is canceled because going towards Bull is all super terrible sea weather. And if we go over there, there's a warning that we might not make it back tonight, which we already purchased our train tickets and we do not want to pay extra for another night accommodation. So
because we're poor.
Exactly, because we're poor. So we are headed to castles and things to do in Oban because a nice lady gave us a map of what to do. We kind of already knew, but she helped us decide. First stop was Dunollie Castle. Now, there is some major history behind here. Dunollie was home to the clan MacDougals. From memory, I believe that the castle was built in the 15th century, but the house that we are now currently looking at and the little scullery area, this part was built in 1746. I also couldn't help but show these shoes. Could you guys imagine? Not my feet, no way. During the era of the Jacobite Rising, there was some power struggle, as in the MacDougals did not have control of their castle and it was actually attacked, I believe, in 1715. But eventually they regained their power and the clan MacDougals still owns it today. We decided that we wanted to take a proper tour of this lovely place, and I want to say that it was like £8 for all three of us, which is very inexpensive. While we were waiting for our tour to begin, we found this cute little spot to have a picnic. What are you doing?
I'm avoiding the camera.
Wizard upon wizard. It's happening. After our little picnic time, we joined our tour, and our tour guide, Jamie, he was absolutely amazing. The man knew absolutely everything about the place. And I mean, one would imagine that you would want a tour guide that knows that much, but you could tell that he was truly passionate about the history of Dunollie and the clan MacDougals. I think people like that make all the difference when it comes to these type of historical sites. So much history that deserves to be kept alive, especially in Scotland. It's such a gorgeous, beautiful place to be in. And we take for granted how amazing these sites are and how much history actually goes into it. I don't want to give away too much of the historical things that were told to us on the tour because I want you guys to experience and hear it for yourselves and enjoy the tour just as much as we did as we explored everything and got to see the ruins. Dunollie was actually supposed to face some great restoration projects before COVID-19, but we all know that the pandemic threw a damper in everyone's path whenever it came to this kind of stuff. So they are currently in the process of hoping to restore and revitalize Dunollie at one point through means of volunteers and donations. The stairwell that I just went through and what you're looking at right now is actually the first floor. We started at the cellar and then this is the top. As you can see from footage, it was an extremely windy day. Oh my gosh. I look like a mad scientist. Up the last set of stairs. I look insane. Hey, come up on this view. Baby. Here would have been the second floor, so that's me panning down to where I was at first. I can only imagine that this place was absolutely beautiful. Now, a fun fact that we learned on the tour about the main house is that there was a little bit of a rivalry at one point between the family on the door situation. So there's actually like two different entryways. Because the family could not compromise, it turned into the weird kind of mesh that you see today. And I just thought that was funny. My friends, I introduced to you the dog stone. I found this on the way back from the castle, but honestly, you can see it from a good distance. We saw it before and we wanted to see it up close. Has predicted to be 415 million years old, and there's an entire legend attached to it. Go and look it up, but I had to show you this clip of this sheep using this 415-year-old stone as its personal scratching post. I thought that was funny. Though we did not get to go to the whiskey distillery because it looked a bit closed the day that we were there, we decided to stop at Oban's Chocolate Company. Everything is handcrafted there in Oban, which is absolutely great in my opinion. There were a ton of different flavors and things to try while there. Honestly, flavors that I hadn't even ever thought of, and there's a glimpse of the puffins that we did not get to see. Still upset about it, but anyways, yes, all of these beautiful, glorious chocolates, even fish and chip chocolate. I heart the puffins, yes I do. The shop itself was just so cute and cozy. I would definitely recommend as a stop in Oban to go and visit because it's not very costly, it's very inexpensive, and it's a nice time to sit and chat with friends and a nice way to wind down from a trip. After our quick coffee and chocolate break, we went back to reality, as this door said. Our final destination and the last thing that I will be discussing with you guys is McCaig's Tower. It is known as a very prominent landmark in Oban as it literally hovers over the city. In 1897, a local banker by the name John Stuart McCaig wanted to create some work for stonemasons because the economy was not doing super great, and he wanted to leave a lasting family tribute to the McCaig name. Now, this is not the finished version because McCaig passed away, and sadly, it was never finished, but I think it served its purpose. It is what it is, but is it though? And that is the end of our trip, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you use this as your guide to Oban in the future. Okay, we're done here. Bye!